Recording in progress.
I don't want Chris reading that in the movie. Around control of that environment. Taking him into the middle of here. Then I'll be ready to go.
So just as a reminder, I was just telling Bobby too, so when we're done, I figure we'll be done by 2:30, we'll just switch you guys around and you guys will be on the other side, or you can sit here and
Yeah, well, you got them all showing up.
2:30.
I was gonna say, I figured they'd all be here by then.
We'll start trickling in.
But, oh, maybe we don't have. Sorry, my computer is, I didn't turn it off correctly when I was at the last meeting.
Is it updating?
It's not happening. Trying to shut everything down.
45-minute shutdown, because it's updated. Good.
All right, is everybody ready? Take one? Okay,
Sure.
we will call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is general public comment. Do we have anybody who'd like to make any comment? Hearing none, we will move on to approval of the minutes. Hopefully you all have a chance to review those. If not, we can take a minute.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Done. Yeah. Staff report, that's me.
Staff report, yes. So, we were kind of busy on our social media because we were posting about meetings that we were gonna do and then taking meetings down. And we posted about our grant cycle coming up, our grant cycles being due and that we're closed. We shared the 4 media stories that we did get. The op-ed was published in the Daily Sentinel. And then we had the Daily Sentinel, KKCO, and the Business Times all shared our press release that the grant cycle was open for applications. And then we also shared that our audit was sent into the state. So our audit was approved and done. Again, our media was good. We had 4 different media for the last month with the Business Times, KKCO, Daily Sentinel. And we have no grants requesting payment at this time. The invoices that were paid for July were for Dusty Reimer for supplies and services for July for $3,835.48. Dufford Waldeck invoice for legal services for $650. And our current invoice for August is for Dusty Reimer for services and supplies for August for $3,780.66. We did receive our DOLA disbursement. We got $1,133,116.23. So we'll start working on the 2024 budget, and we'll, Kathy and I have already kind of been talking. The big factors will come into play of whether we're going to go back to 2 grant cycles and how much money we want to put in the permanent fund. So we'll have that to look at and talk about. And then our upcoming events, our next meeting is October 18th. We'll have our board meeting with grant awards. November 15th is scheduled to be our last meeting for the year. And the December 31st, our 2024 budget needs to be approved by then. And then January 17th is when we'll kick off the year with election of officers and a new. Yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, Dusty. We have any comments, any questions for Dusty? I hear a motion to approve the staff report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Okay, we'll move on to DOLA disbursement and 2024 budget.
Yeah, so again, we just got a little bit over $1 million. Traditionally, we have always tried to put half of it away in the permanent fund. So moving forward to do kind of a proposed budget for October, would you guys like us to maybe mock up one where we look at 50% in the budget, maybe less than that, just to kind of give you an idea for.
Maybe 50 and 40.
So what increase is that for last year?
Last year we got 700 and,
300 now.
yeah,
Hmm.
735, I think it was. So about 400, maybe 400,000 more. And we put $100,000 in for this last year,
Right.
and then our grant cycle 350.
And so you're saying that traditionally we put 50%?
Well, not traditionally. I should rephrase that. When we used to have big checks, now we have big checks, a big check again, we tried to put at least 50% in. We tried to put as much in as we possibly could. So up until the big dip that happened the last few years, there was always a move to try and stick up to 50% because we're allowed to. We don't have to go that bold, but I just thought for budgetary mock-up purposes, see what
It's
that.
important that we establish what that is. I get that.
I was 250 and 500.
So the grant cycle 500 and 250 in the permanent fund,
I was
or the other way
thinking
around?
I was thinking to do a couple mock-ups, one and
Yeah,
250.
so we can look at it.
Yeah,
What do you
A
think?
couple
Bob?
of scenarios.
Yeah, a couple scenarios.
I think that'd be good.
so 250 and 500.
Right.
Okay.
And you're saying that's for the October meeting?
Yeah,
That's,
and we'll still have to go through the
still,
public posting of it and make tweaks, but I just wanna, just to kind of gauge you guys, because the rest of the bills and how we manage stuff, this stays the same. We have a 10% mandate in how we run finances, so it's pretty lean, but it just really comes down to what you guys want for grant cycles too. And do you guys think maybe with a 500,000, it would be one grant cycle with 252? Okay,
Also, you and Chris took pay cuts. We,
did, but last year we rebalanced
so
that.
we,
Mhm.
I must have missed the meeting, I voted against that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, that was it. That's all I needed.
any more, you're good?
Nope, that's all, yeah.
More
That's it.
discussion on that? Okay. Review our financials. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself beforehand. I've seen you down at Bailey. And
Yeah, so I'm Bennett Flores, I work at High Daily and I'm happy, so. That was my good impression.
I'm glad to have you. I'll let you have the floor.
Okay, so, we show a balance in the fund balance of 2.59 million. In the permanent fund, we have 2.35 million. There's been no change in the grants payable. We do show that new grant received of the 1.13 million that was mentioned before. There's nominal expenses of about $4,000. And that's pretty much it.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Yeah.
To approve the financials as presented.
Motion to approve financials. And a second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Yeah. You get back in here. Review event, I should know all these in order by now, right? Yeah. Review of investment account.
Yeah, we went into a lot of detail last time, so I'll be pretty quick, but, year to date, up about $184,000, about just shy of 9%. So bouncing back from last year. And the numbers that, it's been pretty flat, the numbers that they just showed are actually pretty accurate. Market's just kind of idling right now. Fed announced today, that was going to keep this benchmark rate steady at 5.25, 5.5. But there's, I think, 7 out of 12 governors are expecting a hike again in November. And then what was interesting is actually up to a year from now, they previously thought benchmark rate would be about 4.6, so they were anticipating some pretty significant decline, and now they're saying that should be about 5.1. So rates, might be a little higher for longer, that's what it looks like, but, that's actually okay. I mean, we're 60%, we're right on target with our asset allocation. 60% equity, so our bonds are earning a lot more right now. We just extended duration, which we did about a month ago. I think I mentioned that last time. And so I think that's still a good move. I think we'll keep looking to do that as the next year goes on. And then otherwise, we're just waiting for our next geopolitical crisis to talk about. Be the election. I mean, when we say that's geopolitics. Sure. So.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, so otherwise, if there's questions, we have to answer them. We updated or made some suggested changes to the IPS. I think Chris is going to make those, right? Actually, write them into the IPS.
Yes.
Okay, if anything's needed, I mean, let me know. Okay,
That's next.
what's that? Oh, that's next, okay.
You need approval?
For the approval.
Second.
Cool. Second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Our next item is to review the proposed changes in the investment policy language. We discussed that a little bit. Last meeting, I need to get up here. Three big changes. I'll go ahead and read these out. At least annually, the Mesa County Federal Mineral Lease District reviews and updates its investment policy as required by Colorado law. And that was just a cleanup. And then the second one, B, is on July 26, 2023, the district reviewed its investment policy at a duly noticed public meeting of the board of directors. And after due consideration, the board finds and passed revised investment policy statement and reasonable appropriate changes to the existing policy as you know. We go down.
Starts in letter D.
What's that?
Starts in D.
D.
Mhm.
Runs together then.
Mhm.
And it's, oh, here it is. Yeah, D. What did we change that from? Do you remember?
The red letter version's behind you.
Okay, right there.
Yeah, there was a clean draft and there was red letter that was included on there. One of them, the first one was just a typo from JPS to IPS.
Yeah.
And then further down, it says, the investment advisor shall advise and provide investment recommendations, but this duty shall not preclude investment of the trust in managed mutual funds or exchange traded funds having third-party fund managers where appropriate.
Any questions on the one?
Yep.
Yeah. Just there is your community read on split.
So on section E, the change was the last sentence, the board will review and if appropriate, approve, reject, or modify the asset recommendations proposed by the advisor. So that gives the board still the authority. The final one in letter F. It said the investment advisor will monitor the portfolio's investment performance against the portfolio's stated investment objectives and report results to the board of trustees on quarterly basis or more frequently if requested.
Oh, there's one other one clear down in
What would be the next one?
for a it's like a typo.
Mhm.
There was 2E. I can't read that very well, you know.
Sorry.
Oh, but We had a reference to appendix X that we were going to take out. And then I didn't see it red line.
Appendix X risk target. The board acknowledges the direct correlation between investment returns and the risk taken to achieve those returns. Therefore, the board desires to seek a balance between maximizing annual returns with the tolerance of total unrealized losses in any given year by directing the investment advisor of the fund to establish the annual risk tolerance for unrealized losses to be less than 15%.
Okay, yeah.
But it was up in,
It was up on our, I think on our end, we did have appendix X, which was the
but it was
That
saying,
statement.
I think a table showing supporting
Mhm.
calculations, which,
right here. It's in B, the risk tolerance of the fund under section 3, investment returns and risk objectives. The risk management process is consistent with the trust grant funding policy. The board of trustees has approved the risk targets, the appendix X. As subsequent revisions require board approval, but as part.
that's okay, go to subsection B.
Mine too,
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
included in appendix X.
that's where calculations supporting reserve risk target are based on financial goals including. trust. So calculations, but I think that's the sentence we're going to take out. Is the standard deviation of portfolio is just a little over 10 right now. So we're well under 15. I can report on that pretty easily. The calculate, like, I guess calculations supporting. I don't know how you want to see like the formula that calculates standard deviation. That's what I would put in the appendix. So I think that was the section
Okay.
we're going to take out.
So just take out calculations supporting in the sense of just say the desired risk target are based on the financial goals of the trust, including appendix X. Or take out the whole sentence. Because you guys did say last time that you did like having that statement in there. You did.
You know, we did want to keep part of that.
Okay.
Was there a problem with appendix X?
No, my, I guess I wouldn't even say problem, there's just calculations, like how do you want me to show you the calculations of a standard deviation? I can tell you the standard deviations 10.2% of the portfolio. What calculations do you want to see that support that is?
You don't want to write it out by hand.
You don't want to show us the.
So you,
formula?
this is the difference of the mean square, yes, divided by the number of variables.
It's hard.
So we get that. There's a lot of data points, I mean.
He's got a strong one. Junior high, man.
Yeah, I can still calculate something. Pretty soon.
I don't think I can correct that. Yeah, we can,
Is that in your standard?
It's
report?
like, you could replace calculations with reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reporting that supports.
Yeah, just reporting, there you go.
your reports you do are really well
Yeah.
laid out.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's right here, you can see standard deviation on
To
It's a graph. You got it.
in the graph, in the graph.
can we change that?
He does give a pie chart every month.
I know, I love the pie chart.
Go ahead and change that. We don't need to change the resolution, do we? No.
No.
So we'll go ahead and change that to reported rather than calculation. That's so good.
That sounds great.
Makes much more sense.
Yes.
Okay, if I have to read it, what's?
We'll make that surely work.
Should work.
Just do- Okay, Clint, you're gonna have to read it to me. What's it supposed to say? Report the desired risk target. Reports, what do you want? Calculations. The blue.
Reporting that,
Calculating.
reporting that supports.
The desired risk target are based on financial, that goals of the,
Yeah.
They're supposed to be based right there.
it's weird.
So it should be reporting that supports that the desired risk targets are based on the financial goals of the trust and are included in the appendix X.
It's. Our.
Christine Apple.
Yeah,
Right.
It is bright.
That blue. can- no, see that.
Sorry.
There's a couple.
I have flared
or
for
included, I think this one.
I can take out
Well,
more.
or
I'll
in our
send it.
reports is the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read that one again? Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Do we hear, do I hear a motion to accept that investment policy and resolution?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Alright.
So Chris, we found one problem. Do we have any unscheduled business? One thing I want to comment on and add to it, and then, right now, our local BLM office is proposing changes to, in those proposed changes, they're taking, depending on what you look at, they're removing 90,000 acres from leasing, the ability to lease. That will directly affect our income for the federal mineral lease district taking those land or those minerals permanent or not permanently, but out of the ability to lease the Texas, right? We saw what a good year will do. And that will, so I would recommend you comment on that, take opportunity. They are taking comments. I think we've got another month and a half to comment on that. I know the county's commenting on that. I will take opportunity to count on that. But I encourage all of you out there in the audience, who want to continue to get federal mineral lease money, and if you take opportunity to look at that and comment.
Is there any modeling to see if we take those acreage out, what that's gonna do to the funding structure?
No. Talk about putting that together and seeing what, it's hard to model that because, you get, it's two-tiered income. When the minerals are leased, you get that income source. And then if the minerals are produced, then you get the royalties off of that. So it's kind of hard to do that, but as we showed in our letter, in our editorial, a significant amount of money, for not just the federal mineral lease board, but to CMU, and cities and counties, and that bill of money, we all get a piece of that. So that's something to look at. That's all I have. Anybody else have anything? Do you have anything to add before we move on? Okay, well, we will, so I have a motion to conclude this week.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion in the second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do we need to call to order the proposal portion of it? Or
Workshop.
we just move on?